The sun was just beginning to rise, casting a soft golden glow over the quiet town. The streets were still mostly empty, except for one man who walked with purpose. He was a janitor at the local high school, a man in his late 50s with a kind face and a strong work ethic. Every morning, he would wake up before dawn, put on his worn-out but clean uniform, and start his long walk to the school. He didn't own a car, and the bus didn't run early enough for him to make it to work on time. So, he walked. Every single day, no matter the weather. His journey was not an easy one. The school was several miles away from his small, modest home. He would pass by houses where people were still asleep, their windows dark and curtains drawn. He would walk past the park, where the birds were just starting to chirp, and the dew still clung to the grass. He didn't mind the walk, though. In fact, he found a certain peace in it. It gave him time to think, to reflect on his life, and to prepare himself for the day ahead. The man had been working as a janitor at the school for over a decade. He took great pride in his work, even though it was often overlooked. He made sure the classrooms were spotless, the hallways were clean, and the bathrooms were sanitized. He did his job quietly and without complaint, always with a smile on his face. The students and teachers knew him, but not well. He was just the janitor, the man who kept the school running smoothly behind the scenes. But there was more to him than just his job. He was a man of simple means, but he had a big heart. He had faced many challenges in his life, but he never let them get him down. He had lost his wife many years ago, and his children had moved away to start their own lives. He lived alone, but he wasn't lonely. He found joy in the small things, a kind word from a teacher, a thank you from a student, or the satisfaction of a job well done. One day, as he was walking to school, he noticed a group of students standing at the corner of the street. They were huddled together, whispering and glancing in his direction. He didn't think much of it at first. Students often gathered in groups before school, chatting and laughing. But as he got closer, he realized they were waiting for him. "Good morning," he said with a warm smile, as he always did. The students smiled back, but there was something different in their eyes. They seemed excited, almost nervous. One of them, a tall boy with a friendly face, stepped forward. "We've been waiting for you," the boy said. "We have something we want to show you." The janitor was surprised. He couldn't imagine what they could possibly want to show him. But he nodded and followed them as they led him down the street. They walked in silence for a few minutes, the students glancing back at him every now and then, as if they were making sure he was still following. Finally, they reached the school. But instead of going inside, they led him around to the back of the building. There, parked in the staff parking lot, was a shiny new bicycle. It was a sturdy, well-made bike, with a comfortable seat and a basket on the front. The janitor stared at it, confused. "What's this?" he asked, looking at the students. The tall boy stepped forward again. "It's for you," he said. "We noticed how far you have to walk every day, and we wanted to do something to make it easier for you." The janitor was speechless. He looked at the bike, then at the students, then back at the bike. He didn't know what to say. He had never expected anything like this. He had always thought of himself as just the janitor, someone who worked in the background, unnoticed and unappreciated. But here were these students, going out of their way to do something kind for him. "We all chipped in," another student, a girl with bright eyes, said. "We wanted to surprise you." The janitor felt a lump form in his throat. He blinked back tears as he looked at the bike, then at the students. "Thank you," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. "Thank you so much." The students smiled, clearly pleased with his reaction. They helped him adjust the seat and showed him how to use the gears. The janitor couldn't stop smiling. He felt a warmth in his chest that he hadn't felt in a long time. It wasn't just the bike, it was the thought behind it. These students had noticed him, had seen the effort he put into his work every day, and had wanted to do something to show their appreciation. As he rode the bike home that evening, the janitor couldn't stop thinking about the students' kindness. He had always believed that hard work and a positive attitude were their own rewards. But this was something else. This was a reminder that even the smallest acts of kindness could have a big impact. And it made him feel seen, valued, and appreciated in a way he hadn't felt in years. The next day, the janitor arrived at school on his new bike. He felt a sense of pride as he parked it in the staff parking lot and walked into the building. He greeted the students and teachers with his usual smile, but there was something different about him. He stood a little taller, his step a little lighter. He felt a renewed sense of purpose, a deeper connection to the school and the people in it. The students noticed the change in him, too. They saw the way he smiled a little brighter, the way he seemed to take even more pride in his work. And they felt proud, too. Proud that they had been able to make a difference in his life, even in a small way. But this was just the beginning. The students had more surprises in store for the janitor, surprises that would touch his heart in ways he never could have imagined. And as the days went on, the bond between the janitor and the students grew stronger, proving that kindness and appreciation could bring people together in the most unexpected ways. The janitor's new bicycle quickly became a symbol of the students' appreciation for him. Every morning, as he rode to school, he would wave at the students he passed along the way. They would wave back, their faces lighting up with smiles. The bike made his commute much easier, and he found himself arriving at school with more energy and enthusiasm than ever before. But the students weren't done surprising him. They had noticed how much the bike meant to him, and it inspired them to do more. They began to pay closer attention to the janitor, observing how he worked tirelessly to keep the school clean and how he always had a kind word for everyone he met. They realized that he was more than just a janitor, he was a vital part of their school community, someone who deserved to be celebrated. One afternoon, as the janitor was cleaning the cafeteria after lunch, a group of students approached him. They were carrying a large poster board and markers. The janitor paused his work and looked at them curiously. "What's all this?" he asked, wiping his hands on his apron. One of the students, a girl with a bright smile, stepped forward. "We're making a thank you card for you," she said. "We want everyone in the school to sign it." The janitor was taken aback. "A thank you card? For me?" "Yes," another student chimed in. "You do so much for us, and we want you to know how much we appreciate it." The janitor felt a warmth spread through his chest. He had never expected anything like this. He watched as the students set up the poster board on one of the cafeteria tables and began decorating it with colorful markers. They drew pictures of brooms, mops, and smiling faces, and wrote messages like, "Thank you for keeping our school clean," and "You're the best janitor ever." As the day went on, more and more students stopped by the cafeteria to sign the card. Even some of the teachers came by to add their messages of gratitude. The janitor watched from a distance, his heart swelling with emotion. He had always known that his work was important, but he had never realized just how much it meant to the students and staff. By the end of the day, the poster board was covered in signatures and messages. The students presented it to the janitor with proud smiles. He looked at it for a long moment, his eyes misting over. "I don't know what to say," he said, his voice trembling. This is the nicest thing anyone has ever done for me." The students beamed. "You deserve it," one of them said. "You're always so kind to everyone, and you work so hard. We just wanted to show you how much we appreciate you." The janitor carefully rolled up the poster board and took it home with him that evening. He placed it on his kitchen table and sat down to read through all the messages again. Each one touched his heart in a different way. He felt a deep sense of gratitude and fulfillment, knowing that his efforts had not gone unnoticed. The next day, the janitor arrived at school with a renewed sense of purpose. He worked even harder, making sure every corner of the school was spotless. He greeted everyone with a smile and a kind word, and the students and teachers responded with warmth and appreciation. But the students had one more surprise in store for him. They had been secretly planning something big, something that would show the janitor just how much he meant to the entire school community. A few days later, as the janitor was finishing up his work in the gymnasium, he heard a commotion outside. He stepped out into the hallway and saw a crowd of students and teachers gathered in the main lobby. They were holding balloons, banners, and signs that read, "Thank you, janitor," and "We appreciate you." The janitor froze, unsure of what was happening. Then, the crowd parted, and the principal stepped forward with a microphone. "We're here today to celebrate someone very special," the principal said, smiling at the janitor. "Someone who works tirelessly behind the scenes to make our school a better place. Someone who always has a smile and a kind word for everyone he meets. Today, we want to show our appreciation for everything you do." The janitor's eyes filled with tears as the students and teachers erupted into applause. He was overwhelmed by the outpouring of love and gratitude. He had never expected anything like this. He had always thought of himself as just the janitor, someone who worked in the background, unnoticed and unappreciated. But here he was, being celebrated by the entire school. The students presented him with a plaque that read, "Best Janitor Ever," and a gift basket filled with treats and small tokens of appreciation. They took turns hugging him and thanking him for everything he did. The janitor was speechless, his heart overflowing with emotion. As the celebration wound down, the janitor stood in the middle of the lobby, surrounded by the people who had become like family to him. He felt a deep sense of belonging and fulfillment. He had always believed that hard work and a positive attitude were their own rewards, but this was something else. This was a reminder that even the smallest acts of kindness could have a big impact. The janitor knew that he would never forget this day. It was a day that had changed his life, a day that had shown him just how much he was valued and appreciated. And as he rode his bike home that evening, he felt a sense of joy and gratitude that he hadn't felt in years. The student's kindness had touched his heart in a profound way, and it had inspired him to continue doing his best, every single day. He knew that he was more than just a janitor, he was an important part of the school community, someone who made a difference in the lives of the students and teachers. And as he looked forward to the days ahead, he knew that he would always carry this experience with him, a reminder of the power of kindness and the importance of showing appreciation for those who work behind the scenes. The janitor's bond with the students continued to grow stronger with each passing day. What had started as a simple act of kindness, the gift of a bicycle, had blossomed into something much deeper. The students had come to see him not just as the man who cleaned their school, but as a friend, a mentor, and a source of comfort. And for the janitor, the students had become like an extended family, filling his days with warmth and purpose. One afternoon, as the janitor was sweeping the hallway near the school's entrance, he noticed a group of students huddled together, whispering excitedly. They glanced in his direction, their eyes sparkling with mischief. He smiled to himself, wondering what they were up to. Over the past few weeks, he had grown accustomed to their little surprises, and he had come to appreciate the joy they brought into his life. "What are you all plotting now?" he asked with a chuckle, leaning on his broom. The students giggled but didn't give anything away. "You'll see," one of them said with a grin. "Just wait until tomorrow." The janitor raised an eyebrow but decided to play along. All right. I'll wait. But don't go causing too much trouble, now." The students laughed and scattered, leaving the janitor to finish his work. He couldn't help but feel a sense of anticipation. Whatever they were planning, he knew it would come from the heart. The next morning, the janitor arrived at school as usual, parking his bicycle in the staff lot and heading inside. But as soon as he stepped through the doors, he was greeted by an unexpected sight. The hallway was decorated with colorful banners and streamers, and a large sign hung above the entrance to the cafeteria that read, Janitor Appreciation Day. The janitor stopped in his tracks, his eyes widening in surprise. Students and teachers lined the hallway, clapping and cheering as he walked by. Some held handmade signs with messages like, "Thank you for everything," and "You're our hero," while others waved balloons and confetti. The janitor felt a lump form in his throat as he took in the scene. He had never imagined that he would be the center of such a celebration. He waved shyly at the crowd, his heart swelling with gratitude. The principal stepped forward, holding a microphone. "Today, we celebrate someone who works tirelessly behind the scenes to make our school a better place," she said, her voice filled with warmth. The days following Janitor Appreciation Day were filled with a sense of warmth and camaraderie. The janitor continued his work with the same dedication and care, but now there was an added layer of joy in his routine. The students' kindness had left a lasting impression on him, and he found himself smiling more often, his heart lighter than it had been in years. The scrapbook they had given him sat on his kitchen table, and every evening, he would flip through its pages, marveling at the love and effort that had gone into creating it. But life, as it often does, had its ups and downs. One morning, as the janitor was riding his bicycle to school, he noticed a strange wobble in the front wheel. He stopped to inspect it and realized that the tire was flat. He sighed, knowing that he would have to walk the rest of the way. It wasn't a big deal, he had walked this route countless times before, but it was a reminder that even the best things in life could have their challenges. When he arrived at school, slightly later than usual, a group of students noticed his disheveled appearance and the absence of his bicycle. "What happened?" one of them asked, concern etched on their face. "Just a flat tire," the janitor replied with a shrug. "Nothing to worry about. I'll fix it after work." But the students weren't satisfied with that answer. They huddled together, whispering excitedly, and the janitor could tell they were planning something. He didn't press them for details, though. He had learned by now that their surprises were always worth the wait. Later that day, as the janitor was cleaning the science lab, the same group of students approached him. "We have something for you," one of them said, holding out a small envelope. The janitor wiped his hands on his apron and took the envelope, curious. Inside was a gift card to a local bike repair shop. "We all chipped in," another student explained. "We want to make sure your bike stays in good shape. You shouldn't have to walk to school ever again." The janitor was touched by their thoughtfulness. "You didn't have to do this," he said, his voice soft. "But I'm so grateful. Thank you." The students beamed, clearly pleased with his reaction. "It's the least we could do," one of them said. "You're always doing so much for us." The janitor used the gift card to get his bike repaired, and within a few days, he was back to riding to school with ease. But the students' kindness didn't stop there. They had started a new tradition. Every Friday, they would leave small notes of appreciation in his cleaning cart. Sometimes the notes were simple, just a "thank you," or a smiley face, but other times, they were longer messages, sharing how much his presence meant to them. One Friday, as the janitor was collecting the notes from his cart, he came across one that stood out. It was written in neat handwriting and read, "You make this school feel like home. Thank you for everything you do." The janitor held the note in his hands for a long moment, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. He had always believed that his work was important, but these notes were a constant reminder of the impact he was having on the students' lives. As the weeks went by, the janitor's bond with the students continued to grow. He became a trusted confidant for many of them, someone they could turn to when they needed advice or a listening ear. One afternoon, a shy student approached him in the library. "Can I talk to you?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "Of course," the janitor replied, setting aside his broom. "What's on your mind?" The student hesitated for a moment before speaking. "I've been feeling really lonely lately," she admitted. "I don't have many friends, and I don't know how to change that." The janitor listened carefully, his heart going out to her. "I know how hard that can be," he said gently. "But you're not alone. There are people here who care about you, even if it doesn't always feel that way." The student nodded, her eyes filling with tears. "Thank you for listening," she said. "It means a lot." The janitor gave her a warm smile. "Anytime," he said. "You're stronger than you think, and things will get better. Just keep being yourself." The student left the library with a small but genuine smile on her face, and the janitor felt a sense of pride. He knew that he couldn't solve all her problems, but he had given her a moment of comfort, and that was enough. As the school year progressed, the janitor's role in the students' lives became even more significant. He was no longer just the man who cleaned the school, he was a mentor, a friend, and a source of inspiration. And the students, in turn, continued to show their appreciation in countless ways. They would bring him homemade treats, help him with his tasks, and even organize small celebrations for his birthday and other milestones. But the biggest surprise was yet to come. One day, as the janitor was cleaning the gymnasium, the principal approached him with a serious expression. "We need to talk," she said. "It's important." The janitor felt a flicker of worry. Had he done something wrong? But the principal's next words took him completely by surprise. "The school board has decided to create a new award," she explained. "It's called the Heart of the School Award, and it's meant to recognize someone who goes above and beyond to make our school a better place. And we've chosen you as the first recipient." The janitor was speechless. He had never expected to be recognized in such a formal way. I don't know what to say," he stammered. The principal smiled. "You don't have to say anything. Just know that your hard work and kindness haven't gone unnoticed. You're an essential part of this school, and we're so grateful to have you." The award ceremony was held a few weeks later, and the entire school turned out to celebrate the janitor. As he stood on the stage, holding the award in his hands, he felt a deep sense of gratitude and fulfillment. He had always believed that his work was important, but this recognition was a powerful reminder of the impact he was having on the lives of the students and staff. As he looked out at the crowd, his eyes filled with tears. "Thank you," he said, his voice trembling. "This means more to me than I can ever express. I'll continue to do my best, every single day, to make this school a better place." The crowd erupted into applause, and the janitor felt a sense of joy and pride that he hadn't felt in years. He knew that his journey was far from over, but he also knew that he was exactly where he was meant to be, surrounded by people who cared about him and appreciated everything he did. And as he rode his bicycle home that evening, the janitor couldn't help but smile. Life wasn't always easy, but it was filled with moments of beauty and connection. And for him, that was enough. The Heart of the School Award had been a defining moment in the janitor's life. It wasn't just the recognition that touched him, it was the knowledge that he had made a difference in the lives of the students and staff. The award sat proudly on his mantelpiece, a constant reminder of the love and appreciation he had received. But the janitor's journey was far from over. In fact, it was about to take an unexpected turn, one that would test his resilience and deepen his connection to the school community even further. One crisp autumn morning, as the janitor was unlocking the school doors, he noticed a young boy sitting on the steps. The boy looked to be about 12 years old, with messy hair and a backpack that seemed too big for his small frame. He was shivering slightly in the cool air, and his eyes were downcast. "Good morning," the janitor said gently, approaching the boy. "Are you waiting for someone?" The boy looked up, startled, as if he hadn't noticed the janitor standing there. "No," he mumbled. I don't want to go inside yet." The janitor sat down on the steps beside him, sensing that something was wrong. "Do you want to talk about it?" he asked. The boy hesitated, then shook his head. "It's nothing," he said, though his voice trembled. The janitor didn't press him. Instead, He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small packet of crackers. "Here," he said, handing them to the boy. "You look like you could use a snack." The boy stared at the crackers for a moment before taking them. "Thanks," he said quietly. The janitor smiled. "Anytime. If you ever need someone to talk to, I'm here, okay?" The boy nodded, though he still didn't say much. The janitor stayed with him for a few more minutes before heading inside to start his work. He couldn't shake the feeling that something was troubling the boy, and he made a mental note to keep an eye on him. Over the next few days, the janitor noticed that the boy, whose name he learned was Alex, often lingered outside before school. He seemed withdrawn, avoiding eye contact and keeping to himself. The janitor tried to engage him in conversation whenever he could, offering small acts of kindness like a warm smile or a piece of fruit. Slowly but surely, Alex began to open up. One afternoon, as the janitor was cleaning the hallway near Alex's classroom, the boy approached him. "Can I ask you something?" he said, his voice barely above a whisper. "Of course," the janitor replied, setting aside his mop. Alex hesitated, then blurted out, "How do you stay so happy all the time? Even when things are hard?" The janitor was taken aback by the question. He thought for a moment before answering. "Well," he said slowly, "life isn't always easy. But I've learned that even the smallest things, like a kind word or a sunny day, can make a big difference. And I try to focus on the good, even when things feel tough." Alex nodded, though he still looked unsure. I don't feel like I belong here," he admitted. "Everyone else seems to have friends, but I don't." The janitor's heart ached for the boy. He remembered what it was like to feel lonely, and he knew how much it could hurt. "You're not alone," he said gently. "There are people here who care about you, even if it doesn't always feel that way. And sometimes, it just takes time to find your place." Alex looked up at him, his eyes filled with a mixture of hope and doubt. "Do you really think so?" "I know so," the janitor said with a warm smile. "And if you ever need someone to talk to, I'm here." Alex nodded, a small smile tugging at the corners of his mouth. "Thanks," he said. "That means a lot." The janitor watched as Alex walked back to his classroom, feeling a sense of responsibility. He knew that he couldn't solve all of Alex's problems, but he could be there for him, just as the students had been there for him when he needed it most. As the weeks went by, the janitor continued to check in with Alex, offering words of encouragement and small acts of kindness. Slowly but surely, the boy began to come out of his shell. He started participating more in class, and the janitor even noticed him chatting with a few other students during lunch. One day, as the janitor was cleaning the cafeteria, Alex approached him with a shy smile. "I just wanted to say thank you," he said. "For everything. You've helped me more than you know." The janitor felt a lump form in his throat. "You're welcome, Alex," he said. "I'm proud of you." The boy's smile widened, and he walked away with a newfound confidence. The janitor watched him go, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. He had always believed that his work was important, but moments like this reminded him of the true impact he could have. As he continued his work that day, the janitor couldn't help but reflect on how far he had come. What had started as a simple job had turned into something much more meaningful. He had become a mentor, a friend, and a source of comfort for the students, and in turn, they had given him a sense of purpose and belonging that he had never expected. But the janitor's journey wasn't over yet. There were still more challenges to face, more relationships to nurture, and more lessons to learn. And as he looked ahead, he knew that he was ready to face whatever came his way, with kindness, resilience, and an open heart. The janitor's connection with Alex had deepened over the weeks, and he felt a sense of pride as he watched the boy slowly come out of his shell. Alex was no longer the quiet, withdrawn child who lingered outside before school. He had started to make friends, participate in class, and even smile more often. The janitor knew he had played a small part in that transformation, and it filled him with a deep sense of fulfillment. But just as things seemed to be looking up, a new challenge arose. One morning, as the janitor was riding his bicycle to school, he noticed a sharp pain in his chest. He slowed down, gripping the handlebars tightly, and took a few deep breaths. The pain subsided, but it left him feeling uneasy. He brushed it off, thinking it was just fatigue or perhaps something he had eaten. However, the pain returned a few days later, stronger this time, and he knew he couldn't ignore it any longer. After work that day, the janitor visited the local clinic. The doctor ran some tests and delivered news that shook him to his core. "You have a heart condition," the doctor explained gently. "It's not severe yet, but it's something you need to take seriously. You'll need to make some lifestyle changes and avoid overexertion." The janitor left the clinic with a heavy heart. His work was physically demanding, and the thought of cutting back filled him with worry. How would he keep up with his duties? How would he continue to support the students who had come to rely on him? He didn't want to let anyone down, but he also knew he couldn't ignore his health. The next day, the janitor arrived at school feeling conflicted. He tried to go about his routine as usual, but the pain in his chest returned as he lifted a heavy trash bag. He winced, setting the bag down and leaning against the wall for support. A group of students passing by noticed and immediately rushed to his side. "Are you okay?" one of them asked, their voice filled with concern. The janitor forced a smile. "I'm fine," he said, though his voice betrayed his discomfort. "Just a little tired, that's all." The janitor's idea for a kindness program began to take shape over the next few weeks. He shared his vision with the principal, who immediately offered her support. "It's a wonderful idea," she said. "Let's make it happen. I'll help you get the resources you need, and we'll involve the students every step of the way." With the principal's backing, the janitor felt a renewed sense of purpose. He began drafting a plan for the program, which he called Hearts of Kindness. The goal was simple: to encourage students to perform small acts of kindness for one another and to create a culture of compassion and support within the school. He envisioned a bulletin board where students could share their experiences, a monthly kindness challenge, and even a special award for students who went above and beyond to help others. The janitor presented his idea to the student council, and they were immediately on board. "This is amazing," one of the council members said. "It's exactly what our school needs. We'll help spread the word and get everyone involved." The students took the lead in promoting the program. They created posters, made announcements, and even organized a kick-off event in the school auditorium. The janitor stood on stage that day, looking out at the sea of eager faces, and felt a swell of emotion. "Kindness doesn't have to be big or flashy," he told the students. "It's the small things, like a smile, a kind word, or helping someone carry their books, that can make the biggest difference. Together, we can make our school a better place." The response was overwhelming. Students began sharing stories of kindness on the bulletin board, from helping a classmate with homework to standing up for someone who was being bullied. The monthly challenges, like writing thank you notes to teachers or picking up litter around the school, were met with enthusiasm. Even the teachers got involved, sharing their own stories of kindness and encouraging their students to do the same. One day, as the janitor was cleaning the hallway, he noticed a group of students gathered around the bulletin board, reading the latest entries. One of them turned to him with a smile. "This program is awesome," she said. "It's made me think more about how I treat people. I've even started helping out at home more because of it." The janitor felt a deep sense of pride. "That's exactly what we hoped for," he said. "Kindness has a way of spreading, and it starts with small steps." But the program wasn't just about the students, it also had a profound impact on the janitor himself. Seeing the students embrace the idea of kindness reminded him of why he had started the program in the first place. It wasn't just about creating a legacy, it was about making a difference in the here and now. And as he watched the students grow and change, he realized that he was growing and changing, too. The janitor's health continued to be a concern, but he was careful to follow his doctor's advice and take things one day at a time. The student support made it easier, and he felt a deep sense of gratitude for the community that had rallied around him. He knew he wasn't alone, and that gave him the strength to keep going. One afternoon, as the janitor was organizing supplies in the storage closet, Alex approached him. "I have something for you," the boy said, holding out a small, handmade card. The janitor took the card and opened it. Inside was a heartfelt message: "Thank you for showing me what kindness looks like. You've changed my life, and I'll never forget it." The janitor felt tears welling up in his eyes. "Thank you, Alex," he said, his voice trembling. "This means the world to me." Alex smiled. "You've done so much for all of us. I just wanted to say thank you." The janitor hugged the boy, feeling a deep sense of connection. In that moment, he realized that the Hearts of Kindness program wasn't just about teaching students to be kind, it was about creating a community where everyone felt valued and supported. And he knew that, no matter what challenges lay ahead, he had made a difference. As the school year drew to a close, the janitor reflected on everything that had happened. He had faced health challenges, built meaningful relationships, and created a program that was changing lives. And through it all, he had learned that kindness wasn't just something you gave, it was something you received, too. The janitor knew that his journey wasn't over. There were still more challenges to face, more relationships to nurture, and more kindness to spread. But as he looked ahead, he felt a sense of hope and determination. He had found his purpose, and he was ready to keep moving forward, one small act of kindness at a time. The Hearts of Kindness program had become a cornerstone of the school's culture, touching the lives of students, teachers, and even parents. The janitor's vision of a kinder, more compassionate community had come to life, and he felt a deep sense of pride in what they had accomplished together. But just as the program reached new heights, the janitor faced a challenge that would test his resilience and remind him of the power of the community he had helped build. One winter morning, as the janitor was preparing to ride his bicycle to school, he felt a sharp, stabbing pain in his chest. This time, it was worse than before. He clutched his chest, struggling to breathe, and knew he couldn't ignore it any longer. He called for help, and within minutes, an ambulance arrived to take him to the hospital. The news was serious. The janitor's heart condition had worsened, and he would need surgery. The doctors assured him that the procedure was routine, but the janitor couldn't help feeling anxious. He worried about his work, the students, and the Hearts of Kindness program. Who would take care of everything while he was away? Word of the janitor's hospitalization spread quickly through the school. The students, teachers, and staff were deeply concerned. Alex, who had grown especially close to the janitor, took it particularly hard. "We have to do something," he told his classmates. "He's always been there for us. Now it's our turn to be there for him." The students sprang into action. They organized a card-making campaign, filling hundreds of cards with messages of love and encouragement. They also started a fundraiser to help cover the janitor's medical expenses, selling handmade crafts and baked goods. The outpouring of support was overwhelming, and it didn't stop there. The teachers stepped up to cover the janitor's duties, ensuring that the school remained clean and welcoming in his absence. One afternoon, a group of students and teachers visited the janitor in the hospital. They brought with them a large banner covered in messages from the entire school. "We miss you," one message read. "You're the heart of our school," said another. The janitor was overcome with emotion as he read each note, his eyes filling with tears. "Thank you," he said, his voice trembling. "This means more to me than I can ever say." Alex stepped forward, holding a small potted plant. "We brought this for you," he said. "It's a heartleaf philodendron. It's supposed to symbolize love and kindness. Just like you. The janitor took the plant, cradling it gently in his hands. It's perfect, he said. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, everyone. The visit lifted the janitor's spirits, giving him the strength he needed to face the surgery. When the day finally arrived, he felt a sense of calm. He knew he wasn't alone, he had an entire community rooting for him. The surgery was a success, and the janitor began the long process of recovery. During his time at home, he received countless cards, letters, and phone calls from the students and staff. They kept him updated on the Hearts of Kindness program, which had continued to thrive in his absence. The students had taken full ownership of it, organizing events and challenges that brought the school closer together. One day, as the janitor was resting at home, there was a knock at the door. He opened it to find Alex and a group of students standing on his porch, holding a large box. "We have something for you," Alex said with a grin. Inside the box was a scrapbook documenting the Hearts of Kindness program since its inception. There were photos of students performing acts of kindness, notes from teachers, and even newspaper clippings about the program's impact. The janitor flipped through the pages, his heart swelling with pride. "This is incredible," he said. "You've all done such an amazing job. I'm so proud of you." The students smiled, clearly pleased with his reaction. "We couldn't have done it without you," one of them said. "You inspired us." As the janitor continued to recover, he felt a renewed sense of purpose. He knew that his work wasn't just about cleaning the school, it was about building a community where kindness and compassion could flourish. And he was determined to return to school stronger than ever. When the janitor finally returned to work, he was greeted with a hero's welcome. The students and staff had organized a surprise celebration in his honor, complete with balloons, banners, and a cake shaped like a heart. The janitor stood in the middle of the lobby, surrounded by the people he cared about most, and felt a deep sense of gratitude. "Thank you," he said, addressing the crowd. "This school is my home, and all of you are my family. Together, we've shown that kindness can change lives. And I'm so proud to be a part of this community." The crowd erupted into applause, and the janitor felt tears streaming down his face. He knew that his journey wasn't over, there would always be more challenges to face and more kindness to spread. But as he looked around at the smiling faces of the students and staff, he felt a sense of hope and determination. The janitor's story had come full circle. What had started as a simple act of kindness, a bicycle gifted by grateful students, had grown into something much larger. It had become a movement, a testament to the power of compassion and community. And as the janitor continued his work, he knew that he was exactly where he was meant to be, making a difference, one small act of kindness at a time.